Hello, and I hope everybody having a peace evening. Had a peace day, a blessed day. To you and yours, wherever you are. Respect culture. I'm coming from the angle of not, well, we could do that. That should be done. We should be respecting each other's culture. But I'm coming from the angle of what's up with it, with people not pushing a respect culture. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, respect culture, like approaching people with respect. Like, that should be your, you know what I mean? That should be your first perception. First, we should greet each other with respect. No matter what. No matter if you don't like the person's skin, you don't like what they wearing, you don't like what they saying, what their beliefs are. Respect. What made me think of this is I think this would save a lot of people's lives, man. I just think pushing a respect culture would save people's lives. Because right now, and if you ask me if you ever heard any of my lives, I'm going to always say I was born into this. Anything that y'all see ugly or evil going on in the world right now, it's always been this way, if you ask me. That's why it's always been important to, practice such things like discernment and, I don't fuck with you, or put up your walls, put up your boundaries, because it's always existed. Social media is just amplifying things, putting a magnifying glass, over it, and now, people are panicking or having some kind of sensitivity towards it. And it's like, man, you was born into it. But respect culture, like, I say this would save people's lives because, like, how you approach people, how you handle people goes a long way. It determines pretty much, outcome. Things can happen in 5 seconds. Things can happen in 5 seconds, man. Issues can arise, even on the flip side of that, good can come about it. I was always taught that, and this is just how they would put it to me. So don't take it literal. All I'm saying is I've always looked at it like this. They used to be like, make sure you treat people with respect, because you could be, that could be Jesus Christ himself. It could be in that man, it could be in that woman, in that child. It could be in that China man, that Latino man, that white man, what have you. You never know. You could be running across Jesus Christ himself and you treated him like shit. That's how I was taught. And I used to look at that like that's deep. Like, that's deep. Like, for example, like you'll see a homeless man, right? You'll see a homeless man on the street. You could tell he ain't got a shower, hair ain't cut, he's not groomed. Probably hungry, Of course, you gonna pass judgment all day on drugs or drinking or some shit like that. So what? What you gonna do? You gonna add to the fire? You gonna treat them like shit even more? Or would you, give them common respect, treat them with respect as a human being? That's not pushed enough. Respect culture. I just think it's very important, and it will save people's lives, because not everybody is play. Not everybody is, you know, like you could be, I give it to you, you can have a bad day or what have you, you know, we all have them. But if you marching around here with an ill attitude and taking it out on motherfuckers, especially someone you don't know, a stranger, man, that could be the last time you ever had that bad attitude, at least on this earth. I don't know what you know, what's in store beyond this earth. But that's why I say it can save people's lives. I always look at that as the dumbest shit you could ever do. Is get fly and, you know, talk shit to somebody you don't know or act rude or what have you. I just think that's wild. And we see it in like every avenue, every activity that we, you know, partake in our daily, whether it's traveling on the road, you know, walking in the grocery store, you run into rude people, you know. On the road, it's dangerous. That's crazy. You on the road with somebody that got an attitude and don't like you. No, you don't even know the motherfucker. Like, that's crazy. They should have their license taken. They should not be behind no wheel. Yeah, let me know if you could relate to this shit. I'm sure it's happening in every city across America. Like, people are just, you know, it comes with entitlement, privilege, you know. A motherfucker think that you know, their BMW is better than your Toyota or whatever. Like, it's just crazy shit. And it's like, that'd be the same people that talk about this high IQ shit. Like, that's the dumbest shit I can ever emphasize. It's dumb as hell. It's dumb as hell. Like, and at the end of the day, I always look at it like, man, you up here road raging, you know what I mean, weaving or riding somebody bumper on their ass like crazy. All they got to do is brake check you, boom. You relying on insurance. Oh, it'll be all right. Like, nobody got time for none of that shit. And then at the same time, like, you ain't even protecting your investment. Just because you got insurance don't mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. That's zero respect. That's zero respect for yourself. And like I was saying, as far as like the grocery stores, your stores or wherever you go, is, you know, patronize to get your goods and services and shit. You got people that treat you ugly just on the littlest things, like holding the door for them. Nobody say thank you no more. Nobody say you're welcome. You know, nobody saying, you know, excuse me. Acting like you walking, like you clear, like you a clear individual, like you just walk. They walk straight through you. They don't do it to everybody. Like, I don't get it, I could say, but I see it. That's the crazy thing, and I've heard it from people I know. They tell me that the rude things, and it's crazy. I just think it's wild. Like, don't nobody care about your image, you know, what you got on, what you campaigning, and, you know, because that's what it seems like. Like, all you got to do is portray this shit and not really live it. All you got to do is say, you know, regurgitate slogans like positive vibes only and shit like that and not really live it. Or I'm a Christian and not really live by Christ's ways. Like, it's wild. Like, how do you know, at the end of the day, you can't possibly show no respect to others if you're not even respecting yourself. Or a smile, that's a big one. Smiles, often people think that that's a, quote, good person. That's a person of respect, right? Now look, if you was to have a camera on that person 24/7, you would notice little things like, and which is big to me. So you treated the homeless man and the homeless lady on the corner bad, all because of what? Their image and You don't know that story, none of that shit. Just based off of what you see. Then keep following them throughout that 24 hours. You know, you'll see them treat another motherfucker better because of their tangibles or because of how they, you know what I mean? The person might have a suit on, or, you know, the lady might look attractive or what have you. And I just think that's, yeah, I can't take you as a whole as a person that is pushing respect. You're not about respect. Like whether you, no matter what color you are right now, you could see that stereotypes often feed, fuel the, the mindset of people that's like this. Whether you have motherfuckers that are tripping off, discriminating off of skin color, they discriminate off of, oh, this person don't make as much money as you, what they drive, It's even shit like people discriminating on oh, you eat this and I eat this. Oh, you eat meat and I don't. Like shit, they hate you. They disrespecting you. Like, and there's a way to approach these things. Like, it don't have to come off as like just jump out the window like you ready. And 9 times out of 10, the people that are disrespectful ain't ready. I spoke on that on another live. Like, 9 times out of 10, you're not even ready, man. You ain't even like that. It's just popular to walk around with some type of grudge or walk around with some type of attitude. It's popular to be this way. Bruh, I guess got on my live just to say some negative shit. You see what I mean? Like, that's exactly what I mean. Like, I'm not shitting on nobody. I'm actually speaking some real facts, real truth, as far as like helping whoever is listening to me. If you against it, like shit, you don't gotta be disrespectful towards me. Like, I'm talking about something that shows respect. Like, people should show respect. He's saying you sound like one of those niggas. Like, yeah, it could get ugly for you if you disrespect me, but I don't walk around disrespecting nobody. Anyone, like, that's the thing. See what I mean? A stranger, you don't even know me. That's the funniest thing in the world to me. Like, how can you come off of just... And it goes off of just like how I just said. They'll judge you off of how you look, how you sound, what have you. They think that, you know what I mean? Little did this motherfucker know that I probably help him. I would help this cat, or if he was in danger or whatever. He don't even know that though. But like I said, on the flip side of that coin, you gotta know that people that are maneuvering through life, showing common respect to other humans, it don't matter the color, none of that shit. Their beliefs, whatever. Like, that doesn't mean you gotta be for it and partake in that culture, of course not. But just show common respect. It don't cost nothing to do that. It don't take no energy or none of that to do that. Priceless. Like, that shows your heart. That really shows, what you stand for, what you stand on. And from the comment that this cat said, saying, oh, you sound like you one of those niggas. Yeah, you must be on, you know what I'm saying? That's an antagonist. And if he runs across a cat like me and it goes ugly, the first thing his people will say is, he was a good man. He was a good, you know what I mean? He was a respectful person. And from my 5 seconds or however long it take for the disrespect to be pushed, get active around me, I'll tell them, I beg to differ. I don't believe you. The person was very ugly and I was minding my business. Like, for example, right now I'm doing a live speaking on a topic of respect culture. Like, people should be putting their best foot forward with respect towards each other. And this person came over here with the naysaying, with the ugliness. You sound like you one of those niggas. And this could be it doesn't even matter who he is. He could be somebody that look just like me, and they'll be like this. What's crazy, that's a perfect equation. That's a perfect equation. It could be somebody that look just like me, a part of my lineage, you know, a part of my bloodline, and our go-to, I want to say our first thing we want to do when we approach each other, when we meet each other, is often, not all, but it's often disrespect, like something ugly, and it could be subconscious, like not saying hello. Like, that's big in the black American culture, and that's big. You're not saying hello. You're not saying what's up, you know. That's major. I've been taught that since a little boy. You walk into any room, hello. You don't gotta like them and fucking campaign for their beliefs or none of that shit. You don't even gotta put food in their belly. Like, damn, a common hello it goes a long way. It neutralizes shit, I can say that. It waves because 9 times out of 10, when you walk into the room or walk into these institutions and these buildings that you patronize, whatever it is, goods and services that you need, you saying hello, it's like, hey, I come to do the business and that's all. Like, I don't need no, unnecessary banter. I don't need your belief systems. I don't need none of that. Like, I come to do commerce, and then I'm going to split. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I come in respect. Saying hello says I come with respect. You step in the room and you're saying, I come with respect. Notice I didn't say I come with peace. Meaning that shit is in the backpack. You know what I mean? Like, you always got to be tooled up. You always got to keep your tools on you, so to speak. Metaphorically speaking. And physically. But, I'm just saying, like, no, it's not coming in there, pussy, That's why I say it. I notice I ain't say peace. Respect. I come in respect. Like, when I patronize a business, that's normally the first thing I'm looking at. Like, because I literally order, and as soon as I get a whiff of disrespect while I'm ordering, I will literally walk the fuck out. Like, it's not that important. It's not that deep. I look at it like the universe telling me I don't need this shit. I don't need it. Whatever it is. I'll make everybody that's with me leave. As a matter of fact, we'll all walk the fuck out. Dressed up and all. Pocket full of money, you know what I'm saying? Make a day out of it, and then boom, it'll all be scrapped. Like, yeah, all off of the experience. I'm not about to prolong the disrespect. Fuck no. Like I said, that's normally that's a major piece of like what you feel in your heart. Like you walk into a room and you say hello, you say good morning, you know. And that's another thing. Speaking of those greetings, speaking of those things, man, it has become popular to just say these things and it be empty. And that, and I know somebody can relate to me on what I'm saying. Like whenever you hear somebody say good morning, it almost sounds like they're a bot, like they programmed or some shit. Like you know the difference when somebody is actually saying hello, how are you, as opposed to it just being a script. We all have motives. We all have motives. And that's what I'm saying. It'll expose your motive. It'll expose it. Your ill will, you know, which, like I said once again, by us doing transactions, when, you know, doing commerce, doing business or what have you, I'm not even coming there for any of that. I don't need nobody to kiss my tip. I don't need nobody to, you know what I mean? None of that. Campaign for none of my shit. Just do this service and I'm going to get on my way. They'll have a whole, little do you know, they'll have a whole, you know, what is it, ulterior motive toward you based on just how you looked, how you walked into that damn establishment. Now, if they keep it, you know what I mean, keep it north and south to get their transaction, because you got to know this is bad for business. This is very bad for business to be maneuvering, disrespecting people based on, you know, their culture, their beliefs, how they look, their hair, any of this. Like, I know it might sound foolish or whatever, but I know you see it. I know you see it. I'm sure it doesn't happen to you, where you're like, I feel like leaving this ice cream shop, even though we fucking got up and was like, let's all go get ice cream. You know what I mean? Like, it could be that simple. Go to a McDonald's and, you know, you already know it's nasty ass food, but you a McDonald's baby. That shit is in your DNA. So every once in a while you get a taste for, you know, some hot fries. Or a caramel frappe or some shit like that. Double cheeseburger, hot and spicy. Like, and then you get there and it's like just ugliness, rudeness, right? And you're like, damn, I don't even eat this shit like that. I don't even come here. I don't even know you, miss. I don't even know you, brother. And you, I'm sorry you gotta work here, but I'm not sorry. Like, shit, I didn't put you here. I didn't. I have my struggles too, my bad days as well. Like, and what's become popular is for people to like try to top the disrespect. That's the crazy thing. That's what's become popular. You know, and once again, if you ask me, I was born into this shit, so I had to adapt to know right from wrong. We literally are motherfuckers that we had to look at shit like, man, because it'll just be two crash dummies. It'll just be two motherfuckers that'll cancel each other out. That's just how it goes. When you're trying to top each other's disrespect, like like unless somebody put their hands on you, of course, defend yourself. But just somebody that's just wolfing or, you know, talking to you rude, or like how I said in the example of you walk in and you say good morning or hello, you know, greetings, or, you know what I mean? You greet. And you don't even know this person. You just met them 2 seconds ago walking into the establishment. And their first reaction, their first, you know, interaction that they choose with you is just silence. looking you up and down. A lot of people know that in my community. Hey, when you see somebody look you up and down, how you take that? Like, that's major, right? You're like, what the fuck? Like, now you can even choose to top the disrespect with disrespect, or you could just peep it and then note to self, maneuver in a certain way. You see what I mean? I've had to learn these things, like, oh, okay, because you can easily choose flesh and just react fleshly, or you can, tap into your actual, to me, your actual soul, your actual spirit. And this is not on no thee than thou, or motherfuckers is better than, or less than, or whatever that do this. Nah, it's learning. That's actual maturity. That's actual maturity. They teach you this shit in elementary school very briefly. Give respect, get respect. And then for somewhere along the way, through your experiences, through your hardships, and your different paths on this earth, it starts depleting. That respect chip on your shoulder starts depleting. It starts, decaying and shit. And you start getting the dark, the dark cloud, your shit just starts growing on the other side of the spectrum. Like, oh, I gotta push more disrespect. I gotta push more disrespect. And once again, I'm not saying you gotta be maneuvering out here like no pussy or nothing like that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it should be popular for people to be pushing respect, especially with people you don't know. Like, we gotta coexist. We gotta coexist and, be integrated. Share these restaurants, these grocery stores, these schools, these hospitals, these roads, and to not be moving in the manner of, hey, I want to live. Because that's what it translates to me. That's why I say it could save people's lives. It definitely will save your life if you're moving with respect. Even if you see the ugliness, it normally neutralizes them. It disarms them. I spoke about this on another live. How can I disarm you? When you move with respect towards a person that's literally like has they got a foul energy on them. Long as they don't put their hands on you, you just steady showing your discernment and your discipline by showing them respect. It normally neutralizes their shit, because it's normally just hot air, unless you run into somebody that's literally suicidal, like they're literally, wanting to get up off this motherfucker. So they'll take you with them. They're willing to take you with them. But I'm just saying, normally, when you show respect to somebody that is like being ugly, zero reasoning, like they have, all the shit is fabricated, you know what I'm saying? They don't like black people, they don't like that you confident, they don't like, what you wearing, they don't like that you even came into the establishment, they don't even like that they sharing space with you, they don't like that they work with you, none of that shit. They don't like what you driving. And you show them respect, and it normally makes them look in the mirror, like right there, and it ain't even no fucking mirror in the space, accessible. Like it normally makes them reflect, like, damn, man, I'm being, or it might not, of course. I'm not gonna, sugarcoat this shit, like, yeah, like, but 9 times out of 10. Or even 50-50, there's a 50-50 chance that the person will reflect. They're going to look at themselves consciously like, hey, man, like, why am I? This person is actually saying, hello, good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. And by them choosing to be ugly or rude or what have you, even if it's in a passive aggressive way, like saying nothing, you say good morning and they say Nathan, like, yeah, that's loud. That volume is loud. That's very loud. And then you continue to show respect. Because like I said, you're coming there to do goods and services. Like, you know, there's a reason why you're in this space. So you continue the transaction, and oftentimes it starts their tone, you know, their whole campaign starts to change as the interaction goes, all because you're pushing respect culture. You're pushing respect. It's like, yeah, you could choose to be ugly. I always tell people being ugly, doing bad shit, that shit is easy. I don't commend nobody that be on that tough guy shit or talking that, you know, evil or whatever it is that people be trying to push. Like, I'll do this, I'll do that. Man, that shit is easy. I give it to the people that shows discernment. I give them the glory, the accolades, I guess. I commend them for, you know, withholding the bullshit, because bullshit is easy. It's easy as hell to be a dickhead. It's easy as fuck to be an asshole. Am I wrong? Am I lying? It's easy as hell to be a dickhead, man. Now, when I say, you know, as far as respect culture, that should come easy as well. But it will only come easy if you respect yourself, though. Like, if you love yourself, if you respect, like, I can honestly say that I believe that, you know, this is just my opinion. Like, you on my live, you listen to them, or, you know, how I look at it. So this is how I look at it. I believe you're around a lot of beings, a lot of people, you know, yeah, they could be rich as far as these tangibles, and, you know, got a big house, you know, family and all that, and they still empty, you know what I'm saying? They're still lacking. Why? Because you can, like I said, put a camera on, put a GoPro or what have you on them for 24/7, and you'll see which is human. That's why I say it's important for, I think people should push respect culture. Like they got every other culture. Sneaker culture, hair culture, food culture. Push respect culture. Good morning, you know, you don't even know the motherfucker. Just walking down the street. That it'll go a long way. It'll go a long way. It makes you feel good. You campaigning that you love yourself. Like, it's not an empty smile. Like, you're not just, you know, showing a smile just because it fall. You know what I mean? Like it's commercial. Like, somebody sees you smile, so they automatically think you positive, and that be the opposite. That's what I'm trying to say. It be the opposite, and then they'll see somebody that's not smiling. Like, boom, I could tell you out in the world, I'm not a chessy cat ass nigga. I don't be smiling at everything or laughing at everything, and people automatically put a title, a label on me, saying like, "Oh, you." They might say you're difficult. They might say you know, like what this brother said in my chat. He said, "You sound like one of those niggas," like all because maybe my tone ain't inviting to him, which I'm not. I wouldn't change it up even if, you know, this brother said this in person. It would not change. but I'll show him respect. You see what I'm saying? Like, and once again, little do you know, just because I'm not, high-toned, hey, how's it going? All that shit, because a lot of these things, it just be something so minute, but it's big to the receiver. It's big to the receiver, and they'll take it as, it's been promoted in this society that they'll take it as, we're going to put him in that slot. We're going to put, like he said, you sound like one of those niggas that'll do that. No, I probably sound like one of those niggas that stand on business. I'm firm on everything I believe in. Like, even if it's 100 of you over there and I'm over here by myself on this corner, I'm not going to join you niggas all because y'all louder. I'm not going to join you niggas all because, you know what I mean? Like, you gnashing teeth for it's 100 to 1. I'm not giving in. Fuck no. We're going to die on this corner, on what I believe in. These is live experiences, most definitely. I'd rather take the pressures of walking into a job and everybody not liking me all because I stand for something. True story. I know all of you don't fuck with me. It's all fake smiles, fake good mornings, fake thank yous and shit like that. Fake good jobs, all that. I'd rather stand on that. Meaning, I know that all that is coming my way. You hate me and this and that. You trying to get me up out of there or whatever it is. I'll still show you the respect all the way to the end. Long as you don't put your hands on me, And of course, like, boom, like people calling black people nigger and all that. Like, yeah, I ain't gonna stand for that. But that doesn't mean that I should haul off and smack the shit out of them because they called me a nigger. You see what I mean? How many agree with that? I've had to unlearn that. I can honestly say that. Like, of course, still to this day, I still have it burning in my spirit that somebody call you a nigga, you want to break his jaw. At the same time, I'm at the age, and I've been learning this for, some years now, that I'm at the age that somebody call you a nigga or call you out your name or what have you, and you haul off and get physical assaulting them, man, that's a charge. Like, it's gonna knock you off your square. Like, let's keep it 1,000. It's gonna fuck up your whole motion, everything you got going on. True story. 5 seconds, you see what I mean? It took them 1 second, maybe 2 to call you an ER, and then, boom, you react. They on the floor, both of your hearts beating and shit. Now, you got to scramble. You either going to scramble and get the fuck out of there to prolong it, or you just going to stand there and put the cuffs on yourself. Because either way, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we just can't justify. I'm not going to dismiss the wrongdoing in my reaction. Yeah, it stood for something. Yeah, you stood for something. At the same time, you putting your hands on the person, though, that took it to a whole nother, you know what I mean? A whole nother level. See, like once again, somebody that comes in your life and is against what you saying. Should I get all out of body and, push energy of battling them back and forth? Nah, I lead them to it, man. I lead them to it. Oftentimes, I don't even let them know I see it. I let them just argue with themselves. I lead them to it. I let them be on that island of negativity and disrespect and false, You know what I mean? Identity, you could just tell, like they're just battling demons throughout their whole shit. I don't give a fuck how the image look. They could be looking good, smelling good, driving something nice. You know, everything look like it's poster. Like they the poster child, right? You know, American Dream, white picket fence type shit. And it's not standing on what you standing on. It ain't got no, it ain't no respect over there. It ain't no righteousness. It ain't no love. It ain't none of that over there. That's what you see 9 times out of 10. And you know the difference. You can feel the difference. You can feel the difference between somebody actually saying, "Good morning, how are you?" and it's actually genuine, as opposed to somebody saying it, as opposed, them saying it and it's just a empty gesture. Like it's just a kind of like holidays. Oh, it's July 4th. We gotta throw something on the grill. You get what I mean? Like it's script. It's fucking conveyor belt feeling. Like you on a damn hamster wheel. Like you're just doing it just because everybody else does it. You're just doing it, saying it because it masks how you really are. It masks, of course you're not going to walk out and be like, fuck you. You rarely see these ugly people walking around just, fuck you, I don't like you because you're black. And like, they don't do that. They'll get online and do it. They'll get online, and get in your comments with that fuck shit. But in person, they're not doing that. You rarely have instances like that. Yeah, as you can see, even with the mass shootings, with these cowards that do mass shootings, like they know to go to somewhere where they're not going to receive fire. They're not going to get return fire. You see what I mean? They know that they're going to go after soft targets. That says a lot. They run up in a mosque, they run up in a grocery store, a school, shit that ain't gonna return nothing. Ain't even on that type of time. Ain't gonna see them for what they is when they walk in or from the parking lot. Which is sad, it's very sad. It's ugly. So once again, like I said, on a whole nother note from that shit I just talked about, is mass shooting shit. But motherfuckers just need to move with respect. Yeah, respect others' culture. But I'm talking like I said, food, you got food culture, you got sneaker culture, hair culture, everything, all kind of different cultures that we learn to love and be a part of here in this country. One that ain't pushed is respect culture. No, you ain't gotta kiss their ass or none of that shit. But just showing common respect goes a long way. True story. When you walking down the street and you say hello to somebody, that can make their day. That can make their day. Cause look, you gotta understand, they're in the same world as you. They're in the same fucking world as you. They see the same news. They the same bullshit. Their algorithm might be different, but they got access to the fuck shit just like you. Everybody got access to the fuck shit. Like I keep saying, doing bad is easy. Being a dickhead or asshole, that shit is easy as hell. I don't give nobody no props for trying to act like they the top dickhead or whatever, the wrong that they do. They walking around, they talking about I'm on demon time and shit like that. It's like that shit is gonna be your demise. You saying you on demon time, like that shit is gonna end your life too. It's gonna take your time too. Trust me. Moving that way is gonna end your shit. And you could feel it, you know what I mean? You could feel it on people like that. That's why I say, no, you ain't gotta be walking around pussy, you know, bent over, pause. You ain't gotta be, you know what I mean, on that type of time, all docile and shit. All I'm saying is when it comes to noticing that at least what you stand for is respect. I ain't saying peace. Peace is a whole nother level. We got to get past just the salutations, the beginning at first. We ain't gonna, yeah. That's why I say I ain't say I come in peace with the shit. But respect, yeah, I come in respect. Hello. Hey, what's up, man? You know, like easy. Good morning, ma'am. You know what I mean? Very easy. That disarms people. That disarms that opposing force of respect. That disarms it, man. Like it makes them second guess their ugliness. It makes them put down that you know. I don't even care about them dropping the guard, but it does. It makes them lower them shoulders. It makes them their eyebrows. You know what I mean? That furrowed up eyebrow, that shit goes away, all that. Because you got to understand it was false from the jump. It's a cloak. Being disrespectful, being on demon times, so-called demon time and negativity and all that shit, that tough guy shit, all that is a cloak. It's actual fear. It's actually fear. A scared man will kill you. Like, don't get that twisted. A scared motherfucker will drop you, will leave you there. Don't ever get that twisted. But like I said, it's a cloak. It's a disguise. It's a mask. That ain't really how they feel. They going through life just like you. I always remember hearing this on, how many of you remember Hard Knock Life Tour with Jay-Z? He had said this, yeah, he had said this during that documentary. He was like, we walk around saying, or maybe it was another, yeah, I'm probably getting it mixed up. I love that one too though, because he was like, there's a kid right now reading the back of the cereal box and he want my spot. I always love that quote. He's like, there's a kid sitting right now eating a bowl of cereal, reading the back of the cereal box, and he wants my spot. You know, like I love that. Like he's like, shit, I know they watching me from the low. You know. And but anyway, the one that I was talking about is he was saying that we grow up saying, what you looking at? You know, what you looking at? The fuck you looking at? Shit like that. We grow up saying that to each other because it's like the person is like, what you looking at? They're like, why you looking at me? I'm embarrassed at how I look, how I'm presented. You can have all the designer, all the new gear and everything on, you know, smelling good, line up, everything. The shorty got, you know, nice shit on, whatever, but they feel like shit in their soul. You see what I'm saying? And he's like, what you looking at? That's his approach, right? That's the approach when we see each other. We grow up seeing each other. Where you from? You know, on some aggressive shit. On some whole aggressive shit. And it's really fear. That's what a lot of people don't tell you. It's really fear. It's like, it's really, I don't like that you see me like this. I think you can see that I'm not feeling well. I think you can see that I have mental issues, mental health issues. I think you can see my demons. I think you can see my pain. So we approach each other saying, what you looking at off top, right? And it's supposed to steer you a whole nother way, like make you be scared of that nigga, right? It's supposed to make you fret and cower to the nigga. Especially if, they big as hell or whatever. I was always taught the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Like, a lot of people run on that, though. Or the loud, how many of you ran across that? Somebody that gets loud as fuck or starts taking off their shirt and all this shit. Like, it's supposed to make you think that, oh, there's nothing to be played with. When really, on the flip side of that spectrum, there's a cat that is literally trying to talk it down. No, he ain't on no pussy shit. He just know what he is capable of. Or she capable, you know what I mean? Like they're actually showing respect to themselves first and foremost, and then they showing you respect by saying, hey man, I understand. Even if you were in the wrong, even if you did something that, crossed them or disrespected them. You see what I'm saying? They're mature enough to take their lick, take their, their loss, their L, and be like, hey, my fault, bruh. My fault, sis. Like, you see what I mean? That's respect culture. As opposed to, man, we both got to jump out the window. Man, we both got to clash. Man, somebody got to die. Like, you see what I mean? Like, I just think that's why I said at the top of this I think it will save people's lives if you choose to move in a different way. Nobody's saying move like a pussy or a coward or, docile or any of that. It's just, it's loving yourself first and foremost. You for sure ain't showing nobody respect if you don't even respect yourself. You can't be. And if you ask me, in order to love yourself, the first thing on that slate is acknowledging your maker. Acknowledging your maker. All that denomination shit, different religion shit, that's another story for somebody else. I'll tell you, hey, acknowledge your maker. I'm going to just keep it north and south. Acknowledge the Most High. You can put your blank, put your, whatever in that blank, but I acknowledge the Most High. That's love. God is love. What's big when I say that is what I get when I hear that is you could see the God in people. You could literally see the God in people. See, that's a whole nother level. That neutralizes shit for sure. For sure. They could be a whole demon in front of you. A whole demon, you know what I mean? In front of you, right before you. And you got to come to this doctor's office and the receptionist is just on demon, Or go into that grocery store and the cashier is on demon. But they see the God in you. And don't think just because they see the God in you that the demons ain't gonna come out. Nah, that oftentimes the demons will come out even more. But that the demons coming out even more is neutralizing things. You got God's protection, hedge of protection around you on the whole situation. On the whole situation. Rest in peace to those people that lost their lives in that Buffalo shooting some years ago now. Please believe they was protected. Yeah, you took their flesh. That demon, that white supremacist took their flesh, but they was protected. They ain't feel that. He was trying to rejoice off of off of the, the carnage. I heard an OG say that recently. He was saying that really motherfuckers just want to see you, beat your face in. They really just want to see the damage. And I felt that because I'm like, yeah, because most people talk that I'll do this, or, they got a gun on their hip, they got the shit on them and all that. And it's like, rarely do people talk about the 5 seconds after that, the minutes, the time after that. Okay, the damage is done. You did the damage. Now you got to live with that. That's a whole nother, see what I mean? That's a whole nother fucking path, man. Your bully won't even tell you about that feeling. The bully feels like shit. The tough guy, they feel like shit. The killer, they have to seek, you know what I'm saying? They have to seek God's love after taking one of his creations off this earth. The killer has to seek God's love. Even if it was in self-defense or what have you. You got to seek the, you know what I mean, the tranquility, the peace in that. Like I advise you to do it even before you even get to that point to where you got to lay somebody down, or, you know what I mean? To where you walking around with a dark heart and, no love for yourself. And once again, I'm not going to say, because this is what's been campaigned and promoted, pushed on everybody in the society. They think somebody that smiles and, says good morning and all that shit, they think that that's a person to be trusted, or a person that is a good, quote, good person, or what have you. And it's like, it's often opposite. That's why you have these memes of, they'll show white men with puppies, holding puppies, laying in the grass and shit. And it's like, that's the same motherfucker that'll kill his wife and kids. Stuff him in a damn oil tanker. It's the same motherfucker. Like your police see, that's these are perfect examples. Like, your police, there's police that are actually for the people. Like, they actually are a peace officer. And then you got ones that are just, generational. Their great-grandpapa was a police back in the slavery days when it was slave patrol. And then you got the ones nowadays, they still are that. They race soldiers. I mean, you're supposed to trust this. You're supposed to trust that. He show up on the scene. You called him. He show up on the scene. He's on demon time. Rest in peace to that lady Sonya. I forget her, the one that had the boiling water, and then, she called the police just to help her. I think somebody's in my home. She ain't had no man in the home, so she called the police. And the police showed up. And they was both on fucking demon time. One is showing it more than the other. One is getting empowered just because this is a black woman. He's just showing it. He's waving the flag of he's pussy off top soon as he gets there. Just talking to her sideways, talking to her rude, disrespectful, And mind you, she still was choosing to show respect to this officer, to both of them. Let him come in the crib. And that's why I say they can see the God in you. They can see the God in you. They can feel it, especially a demon. They can feel it. Like, it wasn't no coincidence that she came out of her heart, out of her mind, and said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you. I knock you down. Like, no matter what you do to my flesh right now, I'm still gonna live on. I'm still protected by God's love. And you still gonna, you know what I mean, be facing your demons when you leave out of here. You still gonna be under bondage. You still gonna be miserable. You still gonna be a horrible person that just regurgitates fake good mornings and fake how are yous and fake, you know, positivity, and you still gonna be that. I just said this to somebody the other day. I was like, I think the people that are racist, I think that the people that are racist, they feel worse than the receivers of the racism. They have to. And being a receiver of racism is very bad. Like it feels very, yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling for any of my people that can relate. Like, you know, it's horrible to receive racism from people. Like, you'd be like, damn, like it just always comes out of left field. No matter how prepared you are, like, you know, going on this side of town, it's going to be this type of people. But even being prepared and what have you, when it sticks its ugly head out, you still get thrown off by it. But on the flip side of that equation, yeah, the actual giver of the of the racism, the racist motherfucker, yeah, they feel like shit day in and day out. You gotta be a piece of shit, feeling like shit to every time you see somebody you don't like, every time you see a person you don't like, because of their skin color, what have you, you just automatically get a feeling. You get a feeling of hate. Like, that's crazy. You got to be exhausted. That's got to be draining. Yeah, that's gotta be a hard life. They be trying to, you know, spit out how we register and compute racism. You know, a lot of us be trauma bonding, and you know, you have mental health issues or anger issues or, you know, emotional shit. Look on the other side of that spectrum. Look at the actual racists. They ain't no better, man. They ain't no better. They super emotional. They're super emotional over there. Yeah, that's got to be a hard life. That's got to be a hard life. But as far as choosing respect, choosing respect is very north and south. I always use that term, you know, that statement, north and south, like meaning it's very firm, it's very disciplined, you know, it's very structured, you know, it's very, shows discernment, you know, like even in the midst of ugliness, you choose respect. Boom, you keep it short and sweet and get the fuck out of there. You get out of there. You don't need that steak dinner. Yeah, it's you know, it's your little one's birthday. I understand. Trust me. We see that's a whole nother way of looking at this as well. Like you become accustomed to these things that never even fucked with you in the beginning. You just learn that. You learn that with this shit that just happened with Hulk Hogan. Rest in peace to the dude. But he ain't fuck with the people that put him on top in the first place. And he let it be known years after, after bubbling and getting his money and making sure his kids get through college and all that shit, grandkids and what have you. Like, that's how it goes. Like, they'll let you know, like, it wasn't no respect from the jump. It wasn't no respect. It wasn't none of that over there. They'll give you an empty hi. They'll give you an empty hello. Thank you, an empty thank you. It's all soulless. It's all soulless. Empty. That's what I said. That's what I mean by empty. It has zero purpose. The only purpose is to kill, steal, and destroy. That's when you running across actual demon. A lot of people be used and they don't even be knowing they be used. That's a whole nother story as well. But anyway, respect culture, man. It should be pushed just like all these other cultures. Foodie culture, music culture, sneaker culture, hair culture, fashion, any of the shit. Like, it should be pushed just like that. Respect culture. Saying hello to someone goes a long way. Saying thank you goes a long way. Try it. Bless. Stay safe. Bless.